All right, Pisces, welcome to your February of 2015 horoscope. My name is Athen. So the emphasis this month is on your 12th house, which is about your house, really. Behind the scenes activities, spirituality, compassion, peace, presence, music, anything imaginative, very creative. The 12th house is the house of no thingness, is where we go into the void, and that's where we gather our intuition, where we gather our awareness and our spiritual attunement. So that's the strong emphasis in that sector for you this month. However, we're still kind of leading into this month from last month in January, where we had a lot of emphasis on your 11th house. Now, that's still going to be the case because we have Mercury retrograde, and we're going to have the Sun there up until mid-month. So starting with last month, there was a lot of emphasis here in terms of your groups, your communities, anything you're doing on a sort of humanitarian level, being more of service to others, your ideals, all of these 11th house things, your freedom. And so with Mercury there, continue to reflect on that, and with the Sun there, the first half of the month, it's still very passionate, lots of creative life force energy. So continue to do any, rethinking, relearning, and also, expressing yourself in that sector as well, tapping into that vital life force energy. But in either case, the 12th house is definitely highlighted, and it all starts on the 1st when we have Venus going over Neptune in that 12th house. So right here, these two planets coming together is very deep. It's compassion. It's all of those 12th house things because of Neptune. You guys already have Neptune in that 12th house, so especially with the dreams and going within, the past few years in particular has been very much, a spiritual process, past many years really. So with the Neptune, it's going within and naturally, having the sense of flow and peace with everything that is, no thing. It's just nice. It's just the way that it is, and having that presence. So with Venus here, you can find that very enjoyable and connect to that. And also relationships, with Venus in your 12th house, your relationships are kind of going through this whole resting and spiritualizing process. So anything you do this month that is social, up until the mid-month when she changes signs, tap into the spiritual side of it. Maybe this is a spiritual workshop. Maybe it's just having friends over, but, doing something calm and relaxing and having that nice space, that inner space between your relationships, the silence, etc. So on the 1st, you can definitely enjoy this, and this is a very good spiritual sort of energy to cultivate around that time. Now on the 3rd, we've got the full moon energy, and this is in your 5th house of self-expression. And so for the first half of the month, there is a lot of emphasis here in terms of your awareness of it, and a lot of culmination too. You guys are having some sort of, coming to fruition of your self-expression this month. Anything new that you've created, the 5th house is our creativity, it's our self-expression, it's also children, it's artistic, it's new businesses. For those of you who perhaps started something new in relation to that over the past 6 months, but in any of those sectors, you notice that's anything that puts a smile on our face. So whatever that is for you, it's a full moon energy here now around the 3rd, and seeing the abundance of it. So see the abundance. You've also had Mercury retrograde in that 5th house as well. And he's been in there for the whole year, for the past year, excuse me. So lots of opportunities here for you to express yourself, to do these creative things, whatever it is, to have fun and enjoy yourself. And this could be a time of really seeing that come to fruition and seeing the abundance in that area for you. Now on the 6th, we do have an opposition between that 5th house and the 11th house. So we want to make sure that we're balancing these two very correctly, but last month there was still a very strong emphasis in relation to these two houses. Having to balance these two essentially. So it's nothing new to you here, and it's involving Jupiter, which is very benefic. So it's just a balance of what's important to you is also what's important to the collective and to the community. You want to bridge those two together. See how that passion and vital life force energy that you have for yourself can be put into perhaps the community or group or friendship sector of your chart in that 11th house. So that's one way of looking at it. Also perhaps, balancing the other end. So balancing perhaps, more of the collective matters, getting more involved in your community, doing more of those 11th house things. You'll find it very passionate as well, and lots of opportunities there also. So very nice there, coming into this month from last month of balancing the 5th and the 11th. Very creative and very it's giving of yourself and self-expression in a way that it's contributing and helping others in some way. Now on the 8th, we've got Venus going over Chiron. So while there's this whole spiritual process, there's also this healing that's taking place in your 12th house with Chiron there, and Venus going over there on the 8th is essentially some sort of further healing taking place, but it's very good. It's very light and just overall perhaps just feeling good. It's doing these spiritual things that I've been talking about in a way that you're enjoying them and you're enjoying that process. You're going to find that very healing this month. Like I said, it can be very spiritual, but also quite healing, especially around the 8th when Venus goes over Chiron. Now on the 11th, Mercury goes direct, so any last-minute things that you've been working on in terms of the groups, groups, humanitarian, collective matters, now starting to put it into action, and this is leading you into March. So whatever that is, whatever lessons learned up until the 11th, then put it into action. Improve that part of your life. Mercury, ruler of Virgo, is very much about improvement, especially once we understand something, we've learned something. So whatever it is you learned in that sector could also have to do with your ideals, your sense of freedom. So you want to put that into practice, put that into play, and that's going to lead you for the rest of the month and into March. Now we have Mars and the Sun changing sign both on the 12th, so there's definitely some shifting taking place here. And one of the shifts is definitely that Sun going into that 12th house. So the shift now, very much from the groups and 11th house sector into the 12th house sector. And this is where, naturally you guys, have this sort of energy anyways as Pisces, which is just, tapping into the intuitive side of life and having that sort of relaxation and peace and presence in what you're doing. And when you do that, you're going to notice, as usual, there is that passion, that life force energy that can really come through. So this is, a masculine energy, and it makes it quite active with the Sun there. You guys can find that, by, moving forward, by expressing yourself, by doing creative things, all of these masculine energies you can find to be very peaceful and very tranquil this month. Doing things like meditation or doing the things that help you get into a meditative state can be very enjoyable and passionate for you this month. Anything 12th house really. And with the Sun in the 12th too, it's furthering perhaps some more awareness of dream space. This Sun is illuminating, and the Sun in the 12th house, which is about dreams and sleep, you can definitely learn a lot, see a lot about yourself in regards to that. But it manifests in a lot of different ways. Just overall, I think having that peace and presence, especially involving what you would call spiritual matters, compassion, presence, will be very, very motivating, very passionate, with a lot of life force energy for you from that 12th onward. Now on the 15th, we've got Venus going into Pisces, which is your first house. It's your house. So this is where you guys can really start to enjoy your goals and ambitions. There's a shift here happening, and you're going to notice this more in March. But as these planets finish up their transit of your 12th house of rest, relaxation, spirituality, then they're going to go into your first house, which is then going to become much more enjoyable and passion-oriented. With Mars going in there actually on the 12th, it's about this passion, and putting that energy into your goals, your ambitions, your, what's important to you, your appearance even. You want to put energy into that from mid-month onward. Now, Mars and Venus are going to be very close to each other, and that's going to be in your first house. They're going to go exact on the 21st and 22nd, but for the second half of the month, they're going to be right there next to each other in your first house. This is feeling good. This is being motivated by your goals, your drives, having some confidence even. This is a confidence in self with Mars in the first house, and Venus there is perhaps even looking good. Venus in the first house is taking care of yourself and looking good, feeling good. Very, very nice to have these two planets together, because it's masculine and feminine merged together, especially in the first house. It can be a lot of physical energy here. Okay, and feeling very good. And I think you guys are going to be feeling very vibrant and feeling like you can definitely achieve your goals and your ambitions, or just being, it's the time where I think you're just going to be ready to and wanting to. So that's very nice there. Then the key dates there are the 21st and 22nd for that, but really the second half of the month. Now on the 18th, we do have the new moon taking place in your 12th house. So that is where there's a lot of this emphasis of the behind the scenes activities and spirituality, something new coming from this. A lot of times with the new moon in the 12th, it can mean sometimes this, spiritual thing, a spiritual group related thing or something of this nature. But a lot of times it's really just having that inner connection and realizing the importance of having that spiritual peace and presence in our life. and compassion in our life. So there's a new understanding here and a new beginning there, and that's going to lead you into March. So reflect on that around the 18th, that new awareness in terms of your spirituality, and that's going to bring you, like I said, into March. You can cultivate it and bring it into fruition, because without understanding the self on a spiritual level, we can't go into the first house. We have to do the rest. We have to go within. We have to take the time off. Then once we do all these things, we get to sleep and all this, then we come alive. Then all the planets in the astrology, for example, go into the first house. Then you're starting a brand new cycle. It's a brand new solar cycle. But this month is about making sure you're getting the rest, getting in touch with your spiritual side, etc. Now, on the 25th, we got the last aspect of the month. We got the Sun going over Neptune in that 12th house, again illuminating that 12th house of spirituality. But this time over Neptune, it's really perhaps getting in touch with this spiritual process that you guys have been going through, or has been on your journey. And so there's this expression too. Express yourself spiritually. You're going to find that very enjoyable. Lots of creative energy too for those of you involved in the arts, especially music and other Piscean 12th house related things. Very imaginative. But in either case, it is a expressive spiritual energy. Express yourself spiritually. Let that light shine. And I think that's all coinciding with a lot of these shifts that are taking place for you in that first house later on in the month. All right, Pisces, so let's go and draw a card and see where Spirit would like a little more emphasis for you this month. Okay, Aquarius, well, that's where the 12th house is. That's where all this activity is actually for you. So I think this is a reminder from Spirit to tap into the unique side of this. Notice how you guys have, each of you, a very unique and different perspective on spirituality in general. That's what Aquarius ruling your 12th house is all about. And so be yourself. Aquarius is about the angelic self in many ways. It rules the 11th house, which is about the angelic realm, the realm right before the 12th that has to do with where we still have an identity. And for you, it's a spiritual identity. So I think this is a message to connect to your spiritual identity this month. Be yourself, be your unorthodox self. And yeah, that'll, I think, create a lot of freedom for you guys, and also perhaps a lot of this 11th house matters, whatever you've been reflecting on since January, in terms of groups and anything humanitarian as well. All right, Pisces, so I want to thank you all for all of your support, and if you'd like to continue to help share the Sidereal Astrology with others, please like. You can also share this on Facebook, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I do daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes. Comment below on your experiences. If you've been experiencing anything in particular you can share with the community. Get in touch if you'd like a personal reading, and I wish you all the best. I hope you have a great February, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.